Hi, today I wanted to talk about a few tips and tricks that I have for how to connect with your child as you read in a way that fosters emotional intimacy and signals to them that you are a safe place for them to discuss things that are really important in life and share some of their inner wonderings and musings with you. So let's just get through a few tips that I have. The first tip is to keep it natural. So this may be a little bit different if you choose to use this resource in a more formal setting like a classroom, but if you're just in your own home, try to not formalize it. Don't be like, sit down kids, this is a lesson, I've got the chalkboard up here. Just keep it really natural, keep the pressure off. Just be like, hey, let's read a book together right before bed. The more natural you can keep it, the more the kids are not going to feel pressure to perform in a certain way, and they're going to be there more of their authentic self for you. The second tip that I have is to never reject their offering. And what I mean by that is, as you are asking them to participate, what do you think about this? Asking some discussion questions. If they offer something to you in the form of an answer or an idea, never reject it by saying, nope, not quite, or no, that's not right, because children rarely offer something that they know is wrong. And if they're offering it to you, they really think it is a good idea, a very good idea. It's the best idea that they have. And so if they're giving that to you and you're saying, no, that's wrong, chances are really going to go down that they're going to want to offer something again to you. I have a few stories that illustrate this. I remember when I was a teenager at church, my teacher asked me, what is the center thing that we focus on here at church? And I was convinced it was Jesus. And the teacher said, nope. And all my classmates are guessing, is it love? Is it, service? Is it God? And it was nope, 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 nope. And after this big, long guessing game, the teacher was finally like, honesty. And I was like, why did you just have us guess willy-nilly, trying to come up with the best that we can so that you could just wait for the right moment to tell us what you were planning on telling us from the beginning? Like, why did you make us make a fool of ourselves and embarrass ourselves when you had the right answer and you were just waiting to tell it to us? So make sure if you're asking a question, you're actually ready to listen to whatever the answer is that they're going to give you and not reject that. Another story was the other week I was reading The Giving Tree to a class of 4-year-olds, which is probably a little too young for The Giving Tree. But I got to the end and I was like, what do you guys think the lesson of this book is? And one of the little girls said, we should not cut off the arms of our friends. And I was like, yes, that is so true. That is so true. Thank you for saying that. Did you also notice how the tree gave so much to the little boy and she was happy? What do you think about that? So there's an example of, you can accept an offering and then redirect without making the child feel embarrassed or like a fool for offering something. So that's tip number 2 is never reject an offering. And then the last tip for fostering emotional intimacy and creating a safe space with your children, third and final tip is to follow their lead. These, like mini lessons and discussion questions, are not supposed to be the only right answer. It's supposed to be something that just opens the door for you and your loved ones to have conversations that you really want to have. If you have it in your mind that we need to stick to this plan, and if we don't, then I'm not a good teacher because I haven't taught them to anything today, and I'm not a good parent, and they haven't learned anything, then you're closing yourself off to so many opportunities. Children, I learned this in my education classes, they will absorb close to 80% of topics that they are ready to learn, and less than 25% of topics that they are not interested in or ready to learn, but that an adult has kind of presented to them. So for example, if you are, having this discussion with your kids and you ask them a question and they give an answer or ask another question that seems to be going off in a different direction, you're actually going to be a lot more productive with your time with them. You're going to understand them better and teach them things that are a lot more relevant to their life if you go ahead and go with them in that direction, rather than if you try and pull them back to the main storyline, which wasn't really what they were interested in. It just sparked a conversation of something that really was important to them. For example, let's say that you are reading The Giving Tree. I love that book. And you ask your child, do you think giving makes you happy? And they say something like, I don't think so. The tree looks pretty lonely, and also I gave to my friend yesterday and they just kind of took advantage of me and I just felt lonely. And you say, okay, but does giving usually make you happy? You kind of just missed a cue that your child was giving you, that they're dealing with this thing in their life where they're giving and they're feeling lonely at school. Maybe, a friend next to them is taking their things or, parts of their lunch, forcing them to share, and your child was trying to signal to you, that they're being bullied, but you just kind of skipped over that and tried to get back to the lesson. So, you're going to be most effective if you go ahead and ask follow-up questions, thank them for all their contributions, and follow the lead that they're interested in. Maybe you don't even finish reading the book and you just ditch the whole idea of giving for today and you talk about what it feels like to be lonely and what are the definitions of abuse and bullying and what can you do to stand up for yourself in, a bullying situation. That's going to be so much more helpful for your child, and they're going to appreciate that and use that so much more than if you have it stuck in your mind that you have to stick to this thing. So that is my final tip, is to follow their lead and just go with your child where you want it to go, where they want this discussion to go. Let reading be something that's opening doors rather than closing doors to conversations.